What is this? All right. Okay. So I'm back. I haven't done a weekly review in a while. And honestly, I'm going to do it a little different. Usually I do the 7-day. I'm going to do 30-day and just go over the space the last couple weeks to month because it's been a slow month. So instead of just doing, like I didn't do last week's weekly review. I've been doing the mints, and even the mints have been slow. So I'm thinking for this video, let's just take a pause and let's look back what's going on for the last month because, it's kind of a bear market. Crypto's down, markets are down. And it's kind of just buy the products you like and hold them. It's not really for flipping. It's like you're not like, oh, what's pumping today? It's not that market right now. So let's just take like a slow review of the overall market. That's what we'll do today. And I have, you always see this Japanese whiskey I have. I actually have a glass today. It's good. Really good. Hakushu 12, and they don't pay me for that, that's for sure. That stuff's not cheap. All right, we'll start with Pavia. So over the last month, we're doing the month now, they had the highest volume, 6.7 million. And let's just check their 30-day chart. All right, so like if you want to go even longer than that, you can see where they dipped right into where they released their new plots. Let me get this next to my mouth. Does that sound better? They dipped right, okay, there. Where they released their new plots. Went into like 200s and 300s, but then now they've recovered. And if you want to look at the last month, it's just been like a little slow bleed. And I'm going to tell you guys that's what most markets are going to look like right now. It's just a slow bleed. So you guys just got to make it through the bear. Their floor price is like, what, 320, 330? That's pretty low for Pavia. So it's low, but it's not too low. It's not like it's going to zero. You just got to survive the bear. They're making collabs and stuff. So Pavia is still the number one metaverse. I'm not big on metaverses. You guys know that. But yeah. All right, number 2, Boss Planet for the month is number 2. No one got to mint these, so I don't know who has all the supply. But they've been bleeding worse than Pavia. They started around 550, randomly just started at that price. And no one really got to mint them, so they were just kind of being controlled around that price. And now the demand has slowly just let them bleed down to 300. Boss BCRC, it's like they've created this brand. People like it. The hype chasers like it. And even if they started out in certain ways or whatever, it's like they have their own thing now. And it's like people like the prestige of them. It's kind of a weird prestige to me, but they have their fans and they have the people that want to get in there. So they created their own little thing. You got to give them credit. It's pretty cool, actually. And they get a lot of volume. So they have big money involved. The people, they were able to attract people with money. That being said, this is bleeding. Again, bear market, but it is underperforming Pavia. All right. Ape Society. Okay, Ape Society has been pretty good. For a bear market, Ape Society has gone up. One of the few. All right. So if you remember, if you zoom out, they started out real hot. That's a weird zoomed out looking chart. Anyway, they started out real hot and then they dipped because, of course, you're going to have that big surge and then dip. And they also announced like this metaverse keys and no one liked it. So they bailed out and they have pivoted nicely. Now they give rewards based on your class. And if you're the king of the class, you get more rewards and stuff like that. I sold all my apes. So I don't know exactly what they're doing. I kind of wish I held one because they look strong. Because the way they're acting in a bear market, they're going to be like I feel like they're going to be one of the top, maybe the top project in the bull market. They could just launch. Their floor is around 600, 650. I mean, they had a recent surge up to like 700, back down 6. It's so strong. It's like 3,000. They're constantly making big sales. I think they topped their all-time high of 100,000. I think they made 104,000 ADA sale like yesterday or 2 days ago. Rights are 2,300. So rights are around 2,500. Man, I sold my right for 1,500. I thought I was a genius. I minted him. Anyway, so apes are very strong. Boss cats, the last month. Now, apes are not the norm. Most projects are bleeding during this bear market, which is fine as long as they don't just crash. Bleeding is the norm. They came from around 25. They're at around 1900. I mean, it's still fine for a bear market. They're commanding volume. All volume is so down. Basically what I said about the planets is the same about the cats. They have their own community. They've got some big spenders in there. People like them kind of like as a prestige thing. You know, they do a bunch of stuff. They do stuff that people want. Even if they do stuff like, even if you look into it and it's like, oh, they're not really going to do it. A lot of NFT buyers just want the devs to do the like mint stuff. And they do. All right, Spacebudz. Okay, Spacebudz. Spacebudz is a good teller of the overall market. The way Spacebudz is going for Cnfts is the way the overall market is going. So if the overall market's bearish, if Spacebudz are bleeding, it's probably because the overall market is bleeding. And they did. They went from almost 7,000 to like 5,000, 5,500 floor. Let's see who got some. This one, 5,400. I mean, they're still. The thing is, in my opinion, I don't give financial advice. With ADA at 80 cents and Spacebudz at 5,500 floor, if you have cash, you want to buy Spacebudz now. This is when you get them. I mean, if crypto goes to zero, then you don't want any NFTs. But if that doesn't happen, if you're still in the market for NFTs, you're not flipping right now. You're buying like Spacebudz. And then you're just waiting for the next bull. Well, like when the next bull starts, you want to have Spacebudz. It's like, and you can buy, if you have cash, if you can afford them, buy them. It's like simple as that. Like don't buy $5,000 worth of other NFTs if you could buy Spacebudz. Or it's less than $5,000. 5,500 ADA is like $4,000 or something. Yeah, so if the bull market ever resumes, like if ADA goes bam, $1, $2, $3, $4, Spacebudz are just gonna launch. And then that's how you know you can start speculating on other CNFTs, because once Spacebudz launch, then everything else will follow. All right. Whoops. Next one. Boss cats, rockets. I think they've gotten hit worse than their cats. Okay, here we go. 30-day. Yeah, they've gotten hit kind of like Delan. 55 to... So these cats are getting hurt. If you held this BCRC stuff, you made a killing, but then also in this bear market, you're getting hurt more than a lot of stuff. Like values are getting cut in half. So if you bought the top, their volume picked up here. But yeah, cornucopias. Oh wow, they're back to 160. You know why? What happened today? These had gone all the way to like 120. Everyone was getting liquidity for the javelins, and they're mint. Like I went to mint, and people were just sitting in queue, and there's so much demand it like busted their system, their website. So what they ended up doing was increasing the supply from 8,900 to 12,800, and then gave everyone one for free. So then everyone had their money and was like, oh, I'm just going to go buy a bubble jet. Like the cornucopia maxi types. And they're back to 150. 159. And everyone's going to get free javelin. I'm wondering what the price of that's going to be. It's going to be interesting. But for the month, this was a strong project. 1.8 million traded, and the month's not over for them. They're like, for all time, they're like top 20 already. Dead Pixels been very resilient through this bear market. A little bit of a bleed, right? But not too bad. 24, 25 to 22. That is great. Honestly, I'm going to say that's great. Besides Ape Society, I don't know what else has done that good in the bear market. Maybe smaller projects, Disco and Yetis. But a lot of smaller projects got completely destroyed in the bear market. So, like they stopped. There's just no volume. So yeah, Pixels, you guys know what's up with Pixels. I'm not going to say it again. You own the Pixel, you own the trait. People are they're making that game where people build Pixels with the trait you own. They got to pay you. Pixels looks very strong. All right. So what it looks like to me, not financial advice, is if you can get ADA with 80 cents, if you have extra money and you want to get into Cnfts, starting your portfolio out with Pixels and Spacebudz doesn't sound too bad to me. Sounds like, yeah, this is a good time to build that base. Yetis. This was also an extreme surprise for the bear market. These guys hustle. These minted for 25, went to like 60. They never really went down. Yeah, see? Minted for 25, went to like 60, then had a huge pump to like, it was just like a couple days ago to like 200, over 200. Now they're back down to 180. This is very Boss Cat-esque early days, but in a bear market. So I don't know. They're also planning to do a snowmobile, and there's going to be 3,000 parts and 1,000 snowmobiles, and you got to get each part. Sounds very, where I've heard that before. So I don't know what team is behind Yetis, but hey, if they can pump the price, you might want to own some. This is by far, for price to like percentage-wise returns, it's the best project in the bear market. Surprisingly so. Art to me is just kind of basic. It's not hard to create that. But the price action doesn't lie. Their volume has slowed down though. See, they get their volumes in pumps. That's the only thing that's weird. It's like, it's not consistent. They'll have a day of really huge pumps out of nowhere. They've gotten that a couple of times. And they can really raise floors like that. All right. For kind of an opposite style price action, we'll go. So DiscoSolaris, number 10 for the month. I think they would have been like, look, 789 minus 100, 689. They would have been like 13 or 14, but they had 125K sale. Which, for an all-time high, you're like third. Only Spacebudz and Pixels. You even beat Clays and stuff. Like, bam, for that Charles. They've had... Disco has high sales. Even though the floor is 100, people don't sweep the floor for discos. They buy above the floor because there's just cool traits and cool art that people want. They're not thinking about the price. See, it's kind of like the opposite of Yetis. Yetis, the art is very similar all around. Like, I'm just being honest. It's like the colors of the fur, they're just using a computer to change the colors, and it's like a square looking Yeti. So the floors aren't, even though actually the expensive Yetis are expensive. But I think their all-time high sale is like 7,500. But this has a 125,000, 25,000, 15,000, 11,000, 10,000, 9,000, 9,000 on a 100 ADA floor. So it's kind of cool because there's big purchases, but anyone could get in. So you can have that dream. Charles was purchased for $5K and flipped for $125K. That guy did the dream flip. All right, their price for the month. All right, so they have bled also. Actually, what is this? They had a pump, and then they fell all the way down to 70. This was kind of like in the beginning, middle stages of the bear market. Oh, you can't see that. So, see, what happened was, this was just mint day. It doesn't really count. They started at 60 and they had a pump. And then they went down to 70. So we'll look at the 30-day bear market. So when the bear market started, they went down to 70. This was literally like maybe the beginning stages. And it looked like, oh man, this is not good. We're entering a bear market and we're sinking fast. And they've done a good job of battling. They battled back to around 100 floor. 99 floor, 100 floor. Wow, look at this Charles buy. Look at that spike. So they've done a really good job of battling and holding. The community is really strong over there. So if you just get a bull market, this thing could really launch. Oh yeah, also, like I said last time, there's the jail cartel is claiming ownership of the Charles. They paid $125K. They minted 5 billion. They basically minted 1 million Discoins per disco. They did make a new tweet. Welcome to the family. We are the 577. It's looking like if you have a disco, you're going to get some of those coins. So you want one. There's 5,777 of them. And for 100 ADA floor, jeez. And these aren't the devs. That's what you want. You want the community building, like alongside the devs. Because people just ask the devs to do everything. It's like 3 people, 4 people. You can't just ask them to do it. They're going to do their own thing, make games, and then but if the community builds, no one can stop that. So this has community builders, and they have skin in the game. It's not like, oh, I'm going to build something for show. They have at least 125K purchase. So you got community builders. That's good. That's like now you have double action, building from the devs, building from the community. It's just very unstoppable. Like when that starts to happen. And then if you get more community members to build, if everyone is just in the community starts building, and this is the type of community that seems like it will be like that. So you probably want to get in during a bear market, because this could just take off. All right, that was the top 10. I guess should I cover Jarheads? Maybe I'll do these real quick. They've gone down to 240. They've bled during the bear. Claymates, still fine, but bled during the bear. I mean, they bled kind of hard, honestly. Look at it. They dipped to 1,100. They bled hard for a blue chip. Whoa. Oh, wait. I'm on highest ever. I thought that 88,000 just happened. See, the highest clay is 88,888. So yeah, they bled clay. So this is what I would do. I would get pixels. No, I would get Spacebudz, pixels, and clays. And then maybe some discos because I just like discos. I'm biased when it comes to those. But for the blue chips, you're not going to find them cheaper unless, we just crash or something. Rats DAO, they've gone down. Look, Rats DAO token are going to go down because think of it. All they hold is CNFTs. If all those get cut in half, the token's going to get cut in half. Benjamin eggs, here's something. They are hatching their eggs tomorrow. Price isn't really moving up. People would rather sell the eggs. Their highest sell is only 8,000. People would rather sell the eggs, I guess, than hatch them. I have a couple of these eggs. I might hatch one, keep one. I don't know. All right. Next week I'll be back with the upcoming mints. I'm thinking so far it's only that Retro Heads I might mint. They just got a website, so I'm going to check it out. And that's it for the review. Hope you guys liked it. Like and subscribe at the bottom. And I'll see you guys next week.